All right, quick update for you on what's going on with United States v. Bolton, the case against Trump's former national security advisor and a man who mishandled some classified documents in a most egregious way while also going on TV and ridiculing President Trump for the alleged way that he somehow mishandled documents which he had the clearance to have in the first place and were packed in boxes by not him, but by the GSA, and he had nothing to do with it in the packing as they left the White House back in January of 2021. But that case was brought by Jack Smith and dismissed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Bolton, though, hypocrite, swamp creature, he's been indicted on his mishandling and his transmission of classified documents. And I don't know if a charge can be brought for this, but I think there should be some sort of charge brought for him failing to inform the FBI that when his email account was hacked, Iran was able to get those classified documents. So I think I think an obstruction of justice charge should be brought or something. Maybe it's not necessary. Anyway, I have a quick update for you because something interesting has happened on the docket. Now, there's going to be a thing here which a lot of people are going to get outraged about. And I would not be surprised to see, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't yet seen, a bunch of articles and news clips going around trafficking in outrage bait related to what I'm about to tell you has appeared on the United States v. Bolton docket. But that's not really why I'm giving this update to you. The reason I'm giving this update to you is because in the filings, which are going to make you outraged, there's some new information about a continuing threat to Bolton, which we were not aware of. All right, so what's going on is that John Bolton has a speaking engagement in Europe that was previously scheduled. It's in early November. And when Bolton was arraigned, he, through his attorney, Abby Lowell, of Hunter Biden representation fame and many other fame, Abby Lowell is somewhat infamous for the clients he represents. He informed the judge that his client, John Bolton, already had a speaking engagement in Europe at some conference, don't know the name of it, and that he was going to seek permission for him to travel. And he's going to need the court's permission as per his release. He's going to need permission from the judge to go and do this speaking engagement. So they made the appropriate filing asking for the judge's permission. And alongside that request, they filed a sealed motion that had to do with Bolton's travel, giving them all the details of where he's going to be, who he's going to be with, where he's going to go, how he's going to get there, and when he's coming back, and all of those things, okay? But what's really interesting is that in that document, in the not non-sealed motion or memo, it says that good cause exists to allow Bolton to file this request and to file detailed information about his proposed upcoming travel and itinerary under seal. And it needs to be under seal. The good cause for it to be under seal is that Ambassador Bolton has previously been the subject of credible safety and security threats. We know this. For example, in 2022, a member of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was charged for attempting to arrange the murder of Ambassador Bolton. We already know that. We knew that because that is United States v. Porsafi, and you can't find Porsafi's case on the court system anymore. It's been pulled. It used to be there, but it's been pulled. It's not searchable anymore. You can find that there is a $20 million reward leading up for information that leads to the arrest or conviction of Porsafi, Shahram Porsafi, or Mehdi Rezawi, or Shaheen Pourbakhsh, which are all IRGC guys, okay? And they're all in Iran. And so we're never going to get them probably. There's a State Department $20 million reward for them, but they have been indicted. And when they were indicted, there's this press release that describes their plot to assassinate John Bolton and other people that were in the Trump administration during the time that Soleimani was killed. And there was even the complaint that gives the background on Prasafi and their scheme to assassinate Bolton either in DC or at his office or in his home in Maryland, okay? That's not new news. That's from 2022. And what's also not new news is that there was another threat against Bolton and other members of the Trump administration, including Mike Pompeo, Mike Esper, Mark Milley, etc. And it was this guy, Asif Merchant, who was arrested last year in a setup by the FBI where they arranged for Asif Merchant. They knew he was coming to the U.S., and they arranged for him to meet with a confidential human source who pretended to be someone who could put him in contact with an assassin. And this guy was looking to contract with an assassin. This guy right here, you may remember this face. He was looking to contract that assassin who was actually an FBI undercover or CHS. And this guy's, we're currently waiting for his trial. His trial is going to be in January of this year, though there might be a delay due to some things that are happening with it. And I strongly suspect that it is this case with Merchant that has helped with the case against Bolton, because all of Merchant's devices were seized. And I think his devices are what enabled FBI investigators to find the classified documents that were stolen by Iran from Bolton's email account. I'm not positive about that, but in some way, the DOJ or FBI became aware that Iran had possession of some classified documents that belonged to Bolton, and they got them from a hack of his email. And I think that hack of his email, Iran used it to get some details about not just the classified documents, but his pattern of life. A hack of your email account can tell a bad person, someone who wishes you harm, can get all sorts of information from hacking your email. And I can't help but wonder if Merchant came to the U.S. with a phone that either had on it or had access to some of the classified documents that were stolen from Bolton's AOL account that is detailed in the indictment of Bolton. Now, none of what I've told you is new news. What is new news is right here in this filing. It says Ambassador Bolton continues to face such threats and requires around-the-clock security protection. That is new. And it reminds me, you may recall, that back in January of this year, President Trump canceled Bolton's Secret Service protection, which Bolton had maintained since leaving or being fired by Trump back in 2019 or 2020? The U.S. had provided him Secret Service protection because of these ongoing threats. And the Biden administration extended that Secret Service protection over and over because of those ongoing threats. But then in January, when Trump was sworn in, Trump canceled that protection, or at least he announced that he did. Bolton was asked about this, and Bolton said, yeah, the threat remains today. And recently, someone was just arraigned for trying to assassinate Trump and me. And that's who he's talking about, is Merchant. But the funny thing about Trump announcing he was canceling Bolton's Secret Service is that the Secret Service didn't comment on whether or not it had actually been canceled. A White House spokesperson at the time didn't respond to an email seeking comment. A spokesman for Secret Service said the agency did not comment on or confirm information about its protective efforts. But Mr. Trump himself said, yep, I'm ending the Secret Service protection. And yet we have a filing here that says Bolton continues to face these threats from Iran, which that part's not surprising. But that he requires around-the-clock security protection. Now, I'm wondering if Trump announced that Bolton's protection was canceled, but it really isn't. That would be a very Trump thing to do. I'm also wondering if that's not the case and it's not the Secret Service who's protecting Bolton, then is Bolton paying round-the-clock security for himself? That's pricey. The other thing I'm wondering is who else has protection right now because of that? Because if Bolton is still under threat from Iran assassination plots, then I would think that Esper, Milley, Pompeo, O'Brien, and others still are as well. And that's pretty interesting. I doubt very much that Iran would give up on getting revenge against members of the Trump administration, including Trump himself, which Asif Merchant was interested in trying to arrange for the assassination of Trump, but the other targets were more, obviously, would be more reachable, except for during the campaign. This was, remember, Iran also hacked members of the Trump campaign's email accounts last year during the campaign election season. So these ongoing threats, which haven't made as much news really at all, according to this filing, they still exist. And I have to wonder if, well, I have to assume that Iran's ability to conduct such operations is severely degraded thanks to the short war that Israel engaged in and the military operation against Iran that the U.S. engaged in earlier this year. That doesn't mean they're going to give up. Radical Islam has a way of holding a grudge for centuries and upon centuries. So I think this threat will probably always exist, even if their capabilities are degraded. Now, here's for the thing you're going to get outraged about. A magistrate judge granted Bolton's request to travel to Europe next month. Go ahead and get outraged. Go ahead and have your moment. Curse his name. Curse the court system. Go ahead. Get it out of your system. Are you ready? Are you finished? Now let me ask you. Did you feel the same way when Trump was under indictment last year? Did you want President Trump's travel restricted when he was under indictment from Jack Smith for the documents case and the J6 election case and the Manhattan case and the Georgia case? Did you feel at that time or believe that Trump's travel should be restricted due to those ongoing criminal cases? What's the difference? Sometimes you got to check your bias on this stuff, right? This is one of those times where there's this immediate temptation to be outraged because, Bolton, why are they going to let him travel? He won't come back, But if it said United States v. Trump, and Trump had a speaking engagement in Europe next month and all these things, and it was still 2023 or 2024, and Trump filed under seal his detailed travel plan with the court, and Trump sought permission from the court to travel for that speaking engagement, and a magistrate judge granted that request, would you feel the same way? Think on it. Got to check your biases, right?